Hey, it's Chris Byer.
Chris Bowling,
Hey, CB.
how are you, buddy?
Good. I know last week we shared why CFOs need to be involved in the benefits discussion and collaborating with their HR teams to make sure that they have a handle on managing the finances of their health plan. So important. I think today we want to talk about how we actually help a CFO and the HR team when we're in those
Right.
meetings understand how they're benchmarking against their own performance. I know this has been something that's really been helpful for our clients.
Yes. I think before, and we'll say pre-COVID, right? Pre-COVID, it
Yep.
was, we kind of came up with the budget based on either a proposal or based on what the stop loss carrier said, this is your expected claims.
Yep.
And then, back in all your admin costs, fixed costs, and then we created a budget from that. And then that was here's your number.
Yes.
Wow, has that changed compared to where we are today?
Yeah.
It's
Because that was an annual
different.
review, and then that was about it. Did you finish above or below at the end of the year? Very, very limited.
Yeah, where, as you know, today we break everything down on a per employee per month, separate medical, separate RX, and for a CFO to be able to understand, you know, am I trending above this per employee per month budget that now you've set for me on both medical and pharmacy separate,
Yep.
and then set it against what the national trend is,
Yes.
put that in a graph that you can see, okay, are we beating the national trend? Are we not beating the national trend? And if
Right.
not, why? What's causing the issues within that organization for us to be, not even the budget. Sorry, my dog is scratching herself.
That's all right. Well, and I think what's helped with that too is when we decide we want to put in a new program, we want to put in a new solution, we've been able to identify that something from a claims cost standpoint is out of whack. And this is the date that we put that new solution in, and did it get a return? And if it doesn't get a return, why not? Was it worth the money? And that has been helpful as well when we can come into a meeting and say, yes, you put this specific program in place, and here's the result that it's provided over the last 6 months, year,
Yeah,
2 years, or we need to revamp and try something new because it's not bending the curve.
yeah. I think the best example we have is there was a great PBM that was in one of our large clients, and they got purchased. So we
Yes,
reset the trend for that purchase date compared
yes,
to the 24-month period. And the
yes,
trend was straight up and down. It's like, what did
yeah,
they change when they got purchased? But whatever they changed, we kept seeing, okay, why is our per employee per month cost just ticking up a little bit? So
yeah,
it wasn't that noticeable over a rolling 24 months, but when you looked at from the day that they got purchased to 6 months later, it was a
yeah.
radical difference. And we're like, they are doing something
Yeah.
horribly wrong. And so
So,
that's
yeah,
that's
I remember. Yeah, we just investigated that, decided that we needed to go a different direction because they weren't managing the costs like they were in prior years. And now, as we've reviewed that almost a year later, we're seeing that that pharmacy trend is going down, and we can measure that again by the date that we started the new program. And it's helped us make better decisions, helped our clients make better decisions, than just validate in the future, especially when a CFO is reporting to ownership or to their board to say, this is why we did X, Y, and Z. We're giving them the data and the tools to do so.
we've always said that health insurance is probably going to sit in your top five expenses for your organization. For some
Yep.
companies, it's number two or number three.
Yeah.
So I would tell any CFO and HR person, challenge your consultant to give you more data so you have a better understanding of what's happening month to month, quarter to quarter. And it's not just, it's not the typical carrier report. Well,
Right.
last year in the first quarter, you did this, and this year in the first quarter, you're doing that. It still tells you nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a snapshot of saying, oh, well, I'm doing better. Okay, why are you doing better?
Right.
And it's and
Yep.
it's not always high cost claimants. You can dig
Correct.
get more in the weeds and figure out besides your high cost claimants, because to that point, you and I also show our clients a separate report, which is
Yeah.
if we pull your high cost claimants out,
Because those
now
are going to
let's really
happen.
look at what's happening within the plan. Because you're
Yep.
going to have that outlier. You're going to have that preemie. You're going to have, a cancer. You're going to have a
Yeah.
crazy expensive drug. But pull those out so then you can just see the base plan, not these
And what's
one-offs.
performed.
what's happening and am I doing well or am I not? And if not,
Yep,
why?
absolutely. I love it. Thanks, CB.
Great discussion. Thank you, Mr. Byer.
All right, we'll
All
see
right,
you.
see you, buddy.